Peruvian Food Culture, a presentation by K. Michelle Head. Some learning objectives for today's presentation is multifaceted, but it does rely heavily on exploring the cuisine of Peru. Food and the differences in what we eat from country to country is telling of culture and identity. As healthcare providers and nutrition professionals, we must recognize the diversity of our patients and our clients. In doing so, we can continue to reevaluate our cultural competence and further our awareness, appreciation, and sensitivity to others. Through building our knowledge of other cultures, our clients will feel better understood and valued, increasing the effect of our efforts in their health literacy. Some of the most leading influences on Peru's cuisine include Indians that are native to Peru. These include the Incas and the Mayans, and they're visible in everyday meals. These ancient civilizations led diets rich in potato, corn, and meat. Another influencing factor on Peru's food is the varied landscape of the nation. Its topography consists of a coastline, highlands, and the Amazonian jungle. Although food will vary depending on the location you're at, this landscape diversity is beneficial in supplying plenty of produce that's native to the country. Native crops that are found year-round all over Peru include various crops. Some of the most commonly found and most abundant include coffee beans, corn or maize, cacao, all kinds of beans, the ancient grain quinoa, and potatoes. The Andean region of Peru alone can produce up to 2,500 varieties of potatoes. Just as influencing as what the land provides Peruvians to eat is migrant cultures that have been blending into Peru for thousands of years. These cultures include Spain, Africa, Japan, and China, and they brought food staples to this country, including wheat and rice, that are seen in everyday meals as side dishes. One of the most popular dishes in Peru is called chifa, which is a prime example of a Chinese and Peruvian infusion that is still eaten today. This unique blending of food cultures exemplifies the benefits of embracing other cultures as opposed to keeping them segregated. Through accepting other migrant cultures into Peru, they have created a cuisine that is varied, diverse, and full of flavor. This brings us to some traditional dishes of the coastline in Peru. The most popular and well-known dish of this area is referred to as ceviche, which is made of raw seafood, either fish or shrimp, and it's typically marinated in lime or lemon juice with onions. A more creamy and robust dish that's popular is referred to as ají de gallina. This is pulled boiled chicken in a yellow pepper cream sauce, and as brought over from the Japanese, it's served with a side of rice and a boiled egg. Roasted meats are also very popular in Peru. In this region, llama and pork are especially popular, which some would consider to be unique and maybe even strange here in the United States. Another popular dish in Peru is influenced by the Japanese once again. It's very similar to sashimi sushi. They refer to it as tradito, and these are long, thin slices of raw fish, again typically marinated in lime or lemon juice. The difference between this dish and ceviche is this is not served with onions, and it's usually served with some kind of boiled rice or also crunchy nuts. Traveling through Peru and into the Amazon region, you'll find some different variations of food that's also popular on the coast. Here there is a plethora of fresh fruits, and some unique fruits of Peru include passion fruit, guava, and mango. Bananas are particularly popular in the whole region of the country. They serve it with almost every meal, and they have it served in a number of ways. Sometimes they mash the bananas, sometimes they're served fried, and sometimes they're served fresh and cut lengthwise. They also eat a lot of freshwater fish in this region, and this is due to the Amazonian River. It provides them with a bounty full of fish. Some of the fish that they would eat include piranha. There's also a delicacy eaten here that's considered to be sacred, and these are fried guinea pigs. These are pan-fried in a vegetable oil and referred to in a dish called cuy. Although us in the United States might consider consuming guinea pig to be like eating our pet, it is not outlawed in Peru, but they have gone through the proceedings of outlawing a once popular dish, which is river turtle stew and black cayman stew. The Peruvian government has recently stepped in and outlawed eating these once popular dishes. Moving on to the eating patterns and typical habits. Just like here in the United States, there are three main meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But Peruvians also engage in something called lonche, which comes from the American word lunch. This is a pre-dinner snack that occurs around 5:30, and it's typically a small meal like a hand sandwich or even a small piece of cake. This is usually eaten with a cup of coffee or even hot tea. They do use the same utensils as us here in the US, like a fork and spoon. They will use a knife if necessary, but typically just a fork and spoon. Something that is varied from other nations in the world is their minimal paper usage. They give each meal eater a small paper napkin that's typically one ply, and they're expected to use this one napkin for the duration of each meal. This has actually resulted in some of the lowest rates of paper usage in all of the world. Another notable influence on Peruvians' cuisine and eating habits is their religion. Most people in Peru follow the Roman Catholic religion, and here they consider mealtime to be an important time to engage in family and friends and to give thanks and to enjoy the food and drink that you're provided. There is a celebration every year considered Holy Week, and a lot of people in Peru during this week will follow strict rules and guidelines. Sometimes this includes complete food restriction or fasting, and it can also mean just avoiding meat for the week. Because of the religious influence, church matters like weddings, confirmations, they're all considered very important events that sometimes can reach upwards to 100 or more people. This is really important to the Peruvians, and they consider this to be a major eating and drinking event for them. This religious influence on Peruvians' diet behaviors is also seen as one of the most influential factors in the United States. With Peruvian Americans, they bring the Roman Catholic religion beliefs from their homeland, Peru, and they continue those beliefs here in the United States. A difference here is they will engage in holidays that are both American and Peruvian. A lot will still follow the restrictions of Holy Week, but they will also engage in more westernized cultures of Christmas, where they would eat baked hams and make candy. The difference with the availability of food for Peruvian Americans is the lack of native fruits, especially. Fruits are a huge part of the Peruvian diet, and fruits that are native to Peru, like passion fruit and guava and mango, that can be found year round at home, aren't as easy to find here in the United States. This lack of availability of fruit also plays into the availability of some proteins that Peruvians like in their everyday diet. The meats like llama meat or guinea pigs that they could get easily in Peru are not considered to be typical food that's eaten here. So that has influenced the popularity of chicken replacing those meats when eating out here. Although a lot of the native food isn't available here in the United States, the Peruvian cuisine is gaining a lot of popularity, especially on the coastlines of the United States. There are many restaurants that are considered to be gastro fare, and people travel to these destinations to experience the blending of Chinese, Japanese, and Peruvian food cultures in these restaurants that are popping up throughout the coastlines. Another food product that is typically considered to be that of Western culture would be sugar sweetened carbonated beverages like colas. This has actually gained a lot of popularity in Peru, and despite push and efforts by Coca Cola, a native soda brand in Peru called Inca Cola has been and continues to be the number one soda brand in Peru. It's so popular there that they have now expanded the availability of their product to the United States, and it can be found online and shipped to you anywhere. Some traditional health beliefs that Peruvians hold about the food that I eat, they focus mainly on the raw fish that they consume daily. They believe that this brings fertility and sexual vitality for men and women alike. They also believe that sacred foods like the cuy, which is guinea pig, will bring a balance to one's energy when eaten. The marinated juices that they use to make ceviche or tredajo, they believe these to cure hangovers, and they're most favored to eat in the morning to help with those after church party events. Although there are a wide array of benefits of eating a lot of fresh and raw fish, there are some possible health concerns that could come up when treating a patient of Peruvian descent. They do tend to eat a lot of fried and fatty foods, typically fried in some kind of vegetable oil. They also drink a lot of soda beverages and eat a lot of sugar pastries during their lonche hour. This can result in really high sugar contents. They also are a celebratory people and do have a tendency to consume a lot of alcohol. This is even during religious events, birthdays, or just a typical Saturday night hanging out with your family and your friends. They consider this to be social interaction, social engaging, and a way to show affection toward one, like a friend, a loved one, or even a family member. Although these might be legitimate health concerns from healthcare providers and nutrition professionals, we do need to take consideration of the ethics in which we communicate. We can be more genuine in our communication by using an interpreter, making eye contact, and increasing our cultural encounters. Having authentic experiences will only further our appreciation and awareness and the sensitivity to our patients and our clients of the future.